Okay, moving on from our trusty Pelly case. As you can see, we are joined by our next guest, which is Jonathan Harrison.
Good
Thank
to see
you.
Pleasure.
Now, for those who don't know, you are a DOP.
I'm a DOP, yep.
And you know a little bit about lighting, shall we say?
Yeah, about 30 years worth.
Yeah, about.
Yeah.
So
a lot of mistakes.
always the best way to learn, isn't
Indeed,
it?
yeah.
So, Jonathan, tell us a little bit about. Obviously, you're using lights all the time.
Yep.
You've been using it for, say, 30, 35 years.
Yep.
How have things progressed, and what's happening now in the sort of lighting industry as far as lighting?
The lighting industry's moved on a lot, and there's an awful lot of emerging technologies.
Yep.
LED, remote phosphor, plasma, and fluorescent's been around obviously for a long time.
Yep.
And we're mixing and matching an awful lot of products nowadays.
Yep.
One of our situations is the environment. We are being pushed to try and save the planet.
Yep.
And use emerging technologies that are supposedly more efficient. So people are being asked to change the technologies from what are seen as old, inefficient, incandescent lighting to emerging technologies. In fact, what is lighting us at the moment is the Kinoflow Celebs, which is in color correct LED source.
Yep.
But the problem we've got with LED sources now is that unfortunately not a lot of people understand the content of light. We've had the luxury of tungsten light sources since year one, and they are what they call a black body radiator. So it gives us a full and complete spectrum of light.
Yep.
And to reproduce that, you have got to have a full and complete spectrum.
Sure.
And if you don't, you'll get a color cast.
Right.
Now, that's pretty obvious when you put your camera to a tungsten light setting, for argument's sake, and go and film in a supermarket.
Sure.
You get, more often than not, a horrible green color cast.
Yep.
That's because the spectral output of all fluorescence, because of the mercury that's actually in the tube, that characteristic of mercury is green.
Right.
But Kinoflow in specific has worked on that because we like the quality of the light source that comes out of fluorescent because it's a soft source at source as opposed to a point source incandescent light. But we like the quality of the light, but the output is not good enough for image capture.
Sure.
So what Kinoflow have done is tailor the phosphors and the actual mechanics of the lamp and the chemistry to give us something that will reproduce faithfully what we see in life.
Right.
And also so that you can match any tungsten light with a tungsten tube and daylight with a daylight tube. Gotcha.
So the lights that we're using here, these are LED lights?
Well, mixture actually.
Mixture.
We've got Kinoflow daylight parasite fluorescence at the back. And at the front here, we've got 3 Celeb 200 set on daylight.
Right. Now, obviously, we saw these set up. We're quite impressed with them. But people are going to say, but I can go and get a Chinese knockoff LED light.
Yeah.
Isn't a white LED light a white LED light?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Are we?
No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not. The problem with LED light sources is that they are not a continuous spectrum.
Right.
And they have a specific characteristic. And one of the problems of them is that there is only one thing that I'm interested in on one level as an image maker.
Yeah.
And one color around us matters more than anything.
Right.
And that is the color of your skin.
Yep.
I don't care what color your shirt is or what color the background is.
Yep. But
if your skin is not correct, that's what all cameras are set up to capture, and you want to see as well. Definitely. You know when somebody is not well.
Yes.
Like there's a few people this morning from a certain lighting company that looked a little bit rough this morning. I wonder why. Anyway, we won't mention white light. Sorry. Anyway, cut a long story short, that spectrum determines what you can reproduce.
Right.
If the spectrum isn't in that lamp, you cannot reproduce that color.
Gotcha.
Post-production won't do it for you.
Yep.
And the difficulty is there's a lot of Chinese-produced products that they're interested in illumination but not image capture.
Right.
Okay, and one of the biggest problems with an LED is that there is a dip, a significant dip, in saturated reds.
Right.
What your average eye might see as red is probably magenta.
Right.
And there are a few products on the market, not to knock them, but you can find out yourself. You just have to go on the internet and see all the blogs. That people have problems because you have to put plus green, minus green in to correct them.
Gotcha.
And so consequently, we've got a light source that is not calibrated in any way to give us some idea of its quality. Whereas a tungsten light source you can rely on, daylight outside you can rely on, but apart from keener flow fluorescent sources, there's all the other non-continuous light sources. We're in trouble because we don't know what we're buying.
Right.
Even though they might say it's got CRI of 95, the CRI was originally set up for the human eye and works on actually 8 pastel shades. So colour saturation's got nothing to do with it. So you can actually have a fluorescent or an LED light source with a CRI of 90 for argument's sake, which in certain ways is good quality, but for image capture can be virtually down in the 50s.
Right, so you're talking about CRI.
Yeah.
How, if that's wasn't designed really for, say, video reproduction and everything, is that going to change?
It is going to change. Combination of an amazing mad scientist who's absolutely brilliant, and he won't hit me for saying he's a mad scientist. He is. He's brilliant. A guy called Alan Roberts, along with the EBU, have been working on a system called the TLCI, which is the Television Lighting Consistency Index, because we need something that will give us an idea in terms of the light quality for image capture.
Right.
And the TLCI is what they are trying to promote to give all of us in image capture some idea of what's in these lights or not, as the case may be. And again, have it on a scale of 0 to 100, and sort of maybe 85 and above being the cream of the crop, to give you an idea so that when you shine it on there and you set your camera up accurately,
that's what you get back.
You will get that. You will see it, as opposed to any shades of grey or any colour casting in your grayscale.
So do we know when this is likely to start happening?
Well, it's kind of started rolling now. Alan Roberts this afternoon at 5 o'clock here is giving a talk about it.
Right.
I'm actually actively promoting it because I'm so frustrated with an awful lot of studios that I'm being asked to specify have got certain LED panels in it and products that are just panels with LEDs stuck all over them, some of them from really dubious sources, and having to change them. They can't understand why they can't get glossy images, and we all want to create glossy images. That's what we get paid for. And so what I'm trying to do is actually start the ball rolling with this, and some other people are as well, so that we can actually make this work in reality. Alan's promoting it, the EBU promoting it, and I think there's going to be something slightly larger promotion in the not too distant future.
Brilliant, Jonathan, thank you. If people want, are you around the show for the next couple of days?
I'm around the show for the next couple of days.
You're coming here tomorrow, actually, on the show here.
Am I?
I think you might be. You are now. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Checks in the post.
Yeah. If people want to come and find you, where can they find you?
I'll be either around the Canon stand or the Cyrilite stand, and I'll be around to chat.
So if they can see you, they can grab you.
Yep, indeed, on my website, lightingmatters.tv.
Jonathan, thank you.
Pleasure.
You'll see him wandering around, grab him, and what was it was at 5 o'clock this...
4 o'clock this afternoon for a lighting seminar. 5 o'clock with Alan Roberts to blow your brains out.
Definitely worth going to have a look at that. Jonathan, thank you very much for coming on. That's enlightening, as they say. That's not me.
Who's your script writer?
I don't know. Who is a script writer?